Thank you. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Sorry for the delay in the presentation. Okay. Without wasting further time, we will get into that. So, how many of you are aware about GitOps basically, and how many of you are having developer background and need to run your applications daily on different Kubernetes applications or something like that? Okay, many. Thank you. So, but I will cover for all, like starting with the what is Kubernetes basically. So Kubernetes is basically a container orchestration tool basically, which is widely available. So containers where you can deploy your applications there. Okay. So let's dive into that. First, we understand what is K3s. So before going into the K3s, basically, we will have to understand what is Kubernetes. So it is full-fledged of orchestrating your containers, basically. But you have to have a lot many system requirements for that. Like 32 gigabytes of memory is required. Some storage is required there. So what will happen? You will have resource constraint there, right? But you are already developing your application, you are already into the code, and you wanted to try that new feature or something, then you don't need to worry about the setup or something like that. So there is a tool called K3s in the market available. It is CNCF project actually. So you can directly go and you can download your K3s there. So K3s is basically a lightweight Kubernetes basically. We pronounce Kubernetes as a K8s because there are 8 letters inside that between K and S. Similarly, the half of the resources, half of the things, that is K3s basically. There is no change in the in the essence of Kubernetes basically. It is just meant to have your edge devices, your what we can say the limited resources, something like that. If you want on the go Kubernetes on your system, then it is for you. Okay. So let's dive into the what is K3s basically. I have already told that K3 is basically a compact Kubernetes solution. And then if you have limited resources or something and you want quickly, it is similar like you spin a container. It will be like in a minute or in a seconds, right? Something like that, you can spin the K3s as well. So there is a documentation for that. In my demonstration, I will rush a bit for the concept, but in the demonstration, we will see how K3s is being installed and etc. things. Okay, there are a few key features of that where you can see that it is mainly for the development purposes. Then you can use it for the edge computing or something. Because nowadays, if you see the edge computing, we require instant container creation or something like that. So where you can use the K3s in place of that. Instead of using containers, you can use a group of containers which is deployed with the multiple applications on the particular edge devices or something like that. So this is what it is. So now let's move towards the another thing. Okay, so considering the fact that you are now aware about K3s, like I know it is a bit like a big rock actually to digest or something, but what we can do here is that what what if you have multiple Kubernetes on your premises, or you have multiple Kubernetes where you have to test the application, like Kubernetes on the Azure proprietary vendors like Azure, AWS or GCP or something like that. Then you have multiple Kubernetes environment. So how you access those things, how you manage those things, right? So you don't have only one or two or three Kubernetes, right, in your environment. So you have multiple things, multiple Kubernetes environment. So for that, there is a open source rancher is available there. So this rancher is basically this rancher is basically a community edition where you can orchestrate your Kubernetes over here. So you can add your multiple Kubernetes environments. You can import your existing Kubernetes there, irrespective where it is installed. It could be in the cloud, it could be in the on-premises. So this is basically the rancher is used for that. Like you can say the UI on the Kubernetes, so you can orchestrate, you can manage, you can have your RBAC, role-based access control, and few other features there, like you can manage your securities and the things, etc. Okay, so these are the few key benefits of that. what rancher can benefits with your ecosystem that you have currently with your multiple Kubernetes resources that are running basically. So as I said that you can add your logging monitoring there as well, which will be the another headache for the developers or maybe the administrator to look into that, why my application, why my Kubernetes environment is having any problem or something, or maybe a statistical information where my resources are more consumed basically. So you will require observability or maybe you will require monitoring or something like that. Okay, so now okay, sorry, this is the morning time, I'm getting a little bit dizzy, so I'll take my coffee. Yeah, okay, it was just I was checking whether you guys are awake or not. Okay, so now we move to the main part of my presentation basically, that is GitOps. Okay, so GitOps is basically a tool, we can say that why GitOps came into the market, because nowadays every project is on the GitHub or maybe any version control system. We can say it is on premises GitHub or your on premises GitLab proprietary vendor or some etc things. So what you can do, you can directly place your application in the GitHub and you can link that particular thing with your Kubernetes cluster existing, and then you can have application pushing there and immediately testing it there. But there is a small problem. What problem we can discuss later. Then we can have this few of the information about how we can manage your infrastructure etc things with the GitOps and everything. Then we have few benefits of that as well, like you can streamline your deployment processes. This is what my talk is centered to that. But mainly there is a problem with the GitOps. I would not say a problem, but I would say a limitation there. So you can't test your multiple Kubernetes resources, you can't test your single application on your multiple Kubernetes. How? You have to every time go there and you have to uh, switch your context with every Kubernetes running in your environment and test that application. So that is a tedious task, right? So what if I gave you a solution where this problem can be minimized? That overhead can be minimized. So we have continuous delivery feature in the Rancher, and this can be separately used as well as a fleet. Is open source. You can go to the github.com /fleet. You can use that as well. So there is no limitation for that. So what is continuous delivery basically? So it is basically a solution for your multiple Kubernetes resources, multiple Kubernetes, I would say, environments which you are currently running. Maybe your organization is having multiple Kubernetes, like I said. So this can be there. So I'll quickly go forward there. Maybe you can read the slides later onwards. So I will quickly cover the features of the fleet basically. So you can manage. Oh, sorry. It again pushed me to drink my coffee. Okay, okay. So fleet will give you. So it is basically has a targeting system. So in the fleet, basically you can target. It is another solution for the GitOps basically, but with more facilities over there. So you can use your multi-cluster thing. So if you have Kubernetes installed in a multiple environments like Azure, GCP, or something like that, then you can point those clusters in a single go, in a single file. Okay, that is how the fleet comes into the picture. And we have this centralized application management. Then it facilitates the synchronization across multiple clusters. So immediately you will update your GitHub code with your application. It instantly it instantly apply those changes to your respective clusters where this application is being installed. So there is a hassle free uh, there is a hassle free step that you can manage there. So you don't need to worry about, okay, go to the application or something. You just need to open your browser where you have this fleet installed in the Rancher, and you just need to monitor where everything is installed perfectly there or not, and you can push your changes there and you can seamlessly see the results of that. This is not the only one feature of that. There are multiple features. So you can look into the fleet website as well, which is in my last slide. So I will quickly move towards the demo. So in the live demonstration, I tried to cover up. If my talk time is not allowed me, I will post this on my YouTube, or maybe I can give a link into the slides as well, so you can take a look into that briefly. But in my demonstration, I'm using K3s, which is lightweight, because I wanted to prepare this demo for this FOSSASIA very last minute, which will the another use case for that. I can immediately spin up the K3s cluster. I install the Rancher there with the Hem package manager. Rancher is basically Hem apps. You can use the Hem apps basically, like your normal application you can install. Then afterwards, Fleet is by default installed with the Rancher, so you don't need to worry about that. So you can install the Fleet separately as well. Oh my god, my laptop also requires coffee, but I can't fit them. Okay, so this is the link for the demo. As I promised you guys, I'll open it over here. Yes. So without wasting your further time, I'll be at this laptop, and here I have created a small bash script. I know it is not a bash script; it's just copy paste of commands. But I have, for save timing, I have just included into that. So I'll quickly go over that. So this is the curl command you can find with the specific K3s version. This version is as similar as your Kubernetes environment. So I said that there is no big difference between the K3s and the Kubernetes. It's just a matter of your resources. It is the same instance, but you will get the immediately with the resource constraint and everything. So here I'm passing few parameters, servers and cluster init thing. So, and after that, I'm just copying the kubeconfig file. Then in order to access this Rancher later onwards with my local IP address, I need to validate some certificates there, just to allow my browser and not restricting it in between my application testing and the Rancher testing basically. So this is how the script, I have provided my script in the GitHub page as well. I will share the link as well for that. Then afterwards, yeah, so I'll quickly move forward there, and I just executed the script. So basically I will explain the hem command, how it works basically, because it is required. So hem repo add, first we need to add the repo where your application contains basically, with the specified URL for that. Then I'm using the parameter upgrade dash dash install, because if the application is already installed, then it will simply ignore it. Otherwise it is, if it is not present there, it will install it. So I wanted to install Rancher, then from which repository I have. So I will install it from the Rancher latest Rancher. The namespace in which I need to, so those are the parameters you can pass with the hem options basically. On which host you are going, which host will be there to endpoint for your Rancher web UI and etc. things. You can give your password. Please don't share the password. I leaked it. I'm sorry. Okay. So you can, there is a wait flag is there. So we can wait for the Rancher to be up and running. So you don't need to wait for the, you don't need to see the logs or something. You just need to see the beautiful screen whether it is there. So I quickly installed it. Okay, sure. I will click. So I have less time. So what I can do, I can simply jump to the Rancher install. So after the Rancher installation, so after Rancher installation, you will see something like that. So K3s is installed. Okay, then there is nothing you need to set up. You just need to execute the command, and that's it. It's just a small script which will does everything for you, and it will have the it will create the service like a normal service in the Linux. Okay, so you can stop the service there itself, like k3s.service, something like that. It is there inside my demonstration in this video, so you can check with that. This is the command you can say, and what you will get at the end. Maybe how, okay, something like this you get, https one, and that address you can paste it in your browser, and you can see this certificate. I told you cert manager is required to give the certificates for your Rancher, right? So after adding this thing, quickly move to the part. Okay, so here I mentioned, I'll just quickly cover this stuff. Here in the Rancher, this is the Rancher UI basically, and you can see this is local cluster. So by default, on which system, on which Kubernetes cluster K3s I am running, my VM act as a local cluster there. So we don't need to use our local cluster. It is just for the orchestrating the Rancher stuff, but we can use the imported cluster. Okay, the cluster on which we can run our applications there. So this is imported cluster. Why imported? Because already I have this in my on premises. So this on premises cluster, I just imported it here. So we have option to create it as well. Create the clusters. You can see here, this is import cluster basically, and this is the create thing. So these are the options from various cloud providers. You can use that basically. Okay. So I'll quickly move to the okay. So as I said that you can use the fleet option embedded into the rancher itself. So you can simply, yeah, where I made this one. Okay. So this is the Git repo page. So where you can mention your Git repo over here. That is, you can add name, then your your application resource URL, where your application resides basically on your GitHub repository. Then mention the branch. So you can mention your tags as well, or maybe revision as well. So there is no need to worry about that. Okay, I need to specify the branch every time. Then you can have multiple authentication ways. If you have your version control system like GitHub or something, a private GitHub or GitLab or any instances in your premises, you can use this Git authentication. Then if you have your hem application, okay, where you deployed it and it is very secure application like banking sectors or etc things, then you can mention the hem authentication as well. And similarly the CA certificates for that, TLS certificate, if your application requires those things or something, you have like a very restricted environment, limited network environment, so you can use that as well. And then we have resource handling. So enable self-healing, and they always keep resources. Even if you delete this Git repo and you wanted to keep your application running inside your Kubernetes, you can check this checkbox and you can use this enable self-healing, which will allow you to not altered by any of the system. As I said that Rancher has the RBAC control. So if one developer, one senior developer has deployed application with the 3 deployments or something, and when junior developer comes with no experience or something, or recently joined, and he just lowered the deployment from 3 to 5, or maybe no, not 3 to 5, 5 to 3, and accidentally updates your existing application configuration. So this option will restore it to the back original position, what your application is installed in a original state basically. So this is how I have explained. So for this FOSSASIA, I have created this URL called uh, GitHub, my username, and the FOSSASIA 2025, where I have these 2 applications present, Nginx application and Grafana Heme application, just to showcase that normal YAML file of your deployment is also supported over there. So you don't need to worry about like specific structure that you have to maintain or something like that for the applications to be hosted on the GitHub basically. So then afterwards, you can see the main branch or things we can do that. This is how I have shown the mapping over there, how I mapped the, okay, I forgot to tell about this path. So path is basically the path of your application on your GitHub repository basically. So what happened? Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So this is what, and this is I was talking about my application. This is Nginx application, which looks like this. It is a simple deployment that we in the Kubernetes create, right? Kubectl apply dash dash something like that, or maybe the simple command that we can get the template of the Nginx application or any application there. So simply I have here deploy to targets, where I can target my application to install on no clusters or available clusters or group of clusters or etc things. That is another management thing for you guys. I will recover 1 minute. I'll just cover up. Thank you. And this is how your application created. Okay, I just had this Nginx application on my GitHub. This is how the GitOps works in that basically. So right now, for the demonstration purposes, with the limited resources, I have 2 K3s clusters running on my system, and this is how I can quickly come up with my 13 minutes of video, okay, or 14 minutes of video, right from the installation to the end of the application deployment via GitOps. And you can see the deployment is there in the specific namespace, because I have default namespace called Nginx there. I can use this default namespace option to install it in the custom namespaces as well, just to manage your namespaces under the Kubernetes itself. So you don't need to worry about that your application is installed in the default namespace or in the another namespace or something like that. And lastly, I can just this one is required. Something else. Yeah, you can see that this I have changed this thing with the 3 deployments, and we can see that the deployment is updated there. Where it is? I just need to find that one. Yeah. Yeah, see, I have in the video you can see that I have updated my deployments in the GitHub itself, not in this rancher. So it is updated to the 3. You can see here earlier it was 1, so now it is 3 again. So now I am changing it to the 1, I guess, and then it is still it is immediately applying it. So here I have changed, here I have made the changes. Then afterwards you can simply see it here. The applications are like yeah, see here immediate effect is there. So you can find it seamlessly updating your application as soon as you update the GitHub there. Yes, thank you very much for that. Maybe thank you slide is there. Yeah, yeah, you can come, you can come. Q&A we can handle it offline. Sorry for time thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And so the next, thank you for this. And for the next session,